Hi, my name is Peter Finch and this is Rick Shields, and we are here on the Golf Monthly YouTube channel delivering a series of tips, first of all on driving and today on irons. If you're new to us, please go over to our channels and subscribe, and if you're coming over from our channels to Golf Monthly, hit that subscribe button as well. Now, the driver videos, I would say, were a resounding success.
Well, obviously because it was my instruction mainly, because that's what kind of drove it all, but you know, you hit a few shots, but that's pretty much it. It was all about the instruction. So guys, go and check out the driver instruction. 6-part wonderful series that we did down here at Trafford Golf Centre in Manchester. Absolutely superb. And Pete's going to try and, I don't know, let's say, shadow that kind of series in irons would be a good way to describe it.
I would say the driver series was incredible, only to be topped by the irons. Now we're going to go through the same 6-stage process that we did with the driver. So setup, takeaway, top of the backswing, transition, impact and follow through. So taking you through the stages you will need to absolutely pure your iron shots. Now we're using a 7-iron here.
Correct.
For all our demonstrations, so everything we say is geared towards that 7-iron, so a 7-iron swing. Now,
and we'll talk about potential differences if you were to go longer club, shorter club. We talk about the differences that you would encounter as well.
Absolutely. So setup. Now, the first stage to start, I always like to start with this stage, is keeping the feet together, because there's a few things you need to absolutely nail down in your setup because it will affect the quality of the swing as well. Now, the first key is ball position. Now, you need this ball just forward of centre in the stance. Now, the easiest way to do that is get your feet together, straight pointing down at the club head, take a little step left, a little step right, and make sure that ball position is just forward of centre. Feet just over shoulder width apart and the sternum bang over the ball. You can think of that as your swing centre. Also, last thing, just with the shaft, you want that leaning towards the target, because with the descending angle of attack, you're going to create that nice crisp strike and that nice little lovely divot.
Slightly feel like an air steward at the moment. As soon as you say it's like,
just go into those positions.
Exits are here, here, here and here.
Well,
your feet go here, here, here and here.
I would say you're making a wonderful stewardess right at this moment.
Anyway,
so into that same setup. Now what we're going to hopefully see here is a decent kind of strike, but also that descending angle of attack into the ball. So that same setup we've just spoken about, and then coming through into impact. Lovely clean strike. So we're using the GC2 and the HMT, so we should be getting some very good data up on the screen here. Nice.
Green regulation.
Nice solid 171 there. So we're going to go into the data here, so you should be seeing this kind of coming up on screen here. Now, angle of attack here, 6 degrees down. Now, I would say that's slightly, probably on the steep side.
Yeah, a little bit on the steep.
A little bit. I mean, tour average, you're looking at about 4.6 with an actual 7-iron, but this will help you create that crisp strike and that divot down onto the ball.
And
now,
that's where it's going to guarantee that quality connection. Two things with that was the ball position and that shaft being forward.
Absolutely.
As the loft goes up on the club, the angle of attack goes down. As the loft goes less on the club, the angle of attack will shallow out a little bit more. And that's getting to the driver and hitting up.
And that's all to do with ball position. However, if you're using a 7-iron, you have your ball position too far forward, this is where problems can start to begin.
So the first thing, it's hardest for me to get the shaft forward. Really hard for me to get that forward. I've got to almost lean that shaft back, and my sternum now is placed behind the golf ball. That's going to encounter so many different issues, because I feel like straight away I'm going to hit the floor behind.
Absolutely.
Which is the fat shot.
Yep.
Or if I do miss the floor, because I'm going to be hitting on the way up more, I feel like I'm just going to thin it.
Absolutely.
I don't feel like there's a good outcome to this.
So your angle of attack here, because that ball position is further forward than it should be with a 7-iron, it will be on the up, and that can be a fat or a thin or an exceptionally kind of clean strike where it just goes into the stratosphere like that.
Look how high it's
like
gone.
that one just did.
We've lost so much distance.
So that was just very much
4 yards in the end. I hit that well.
So that was, well, carry 164, but that was just very much straight up onto the actual ball. Angle of attack 0.6 up, so probably not as up as you would imagine.
But still, that's never going to take a divot.
Absolutely.
That's not taking a divot at any point.
So that is verging right on the edge of that thin shot. Now, if it goes too far back, this is going to be the problem from the opposite side. The angle of attack will probably become too steep because the swing centre is ahead of the ball. The hands are going to have to lead aggressively ahead. There are times that this shot could become useful, this setup could become useful if you're playing in the wind and you want to actually control the flight. But for just a nice standard kind of 7-iron, it's going to go attacking very, very low. I mean, that's a nice kind of shot. That's a good shot if you are playing into a wind. But for a normal shot, I mean, that divot's going to be, that's going to be rather enthusiastic, shall we say.
That's going to be large.
You're not going to be very popular with the greenkeeper, shall we say. So 10.8 degrees down onto that shot, and that's going to lead to problems with path as well. Not
You can
quite
see there the
able
path
yet.
has become very, very much on the in. As I'm hitting more from the, almost earlier in my swing, I'm hitting more on the inside of the golf ball there. As I'm going up on the ball, my path actually neutralised out a little bit more as I hit less downward.
Absolutely. So this is just an example of how your setup with your iron shot's going to have a massive impact on your actual swing. So just have one more.
What about, I'm going to throw something, what about if it was longer club, Pete? Where do I need to put ball position? What's a good rule?
The longer the club, the further the ball moves forward. With every club, well, you can have a few different.
I'm testing it. I'm
Yeah,
playing devil advocate.
you can have a few different
what's
systems.
coming, that's why.
You can have a few different systems that you use, but in the general rule, there are different videos on this. The longer the club, the lower the loft, the more that ball position will move forward towards your front foot.
I think it's always important that we drive the ball position off the left toe, inside the left foot, so you hit up, middle of the swing, so more lofty clubs, pitching wedge, sand wedge in the middle to encourage that down strike, and each club slightly in between or relation to that sternum, trying to keep it on top of that sternum. Right, hit one more good one.
Go on, clip it away. Nice.
That's on it.
All right, guys, so thank you very much for watching this tip, and stay tuned. Next time we're going to go on to the takeaway with the irons and go through that same process that we did with the driver. So thank you for watching.
4.7.
Tour average, baby. Subscribe to the channel. Go check me and Rick out on our channels, Peter Finch Golf and Rick Shields PGA. Subscribe there if you haven't already, and join us next time for the takeaway.